Have you ever thought about, like, what it's all for? You know?
Yeah.
What's my purpose?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That kind of thing.
Mm.
There's a quote by Leo Roston, and he said, I think the purpose of life is above all to matter, to count, to stand for something, to have made some difference that you lived at all.
I like that.
And it really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're looking at today in this deep dive into Dan Millman's book, The Four Purposes of Life.
This is a good one.
Yeah.
It's a really great framework for understanding your own path,
Yeah.
your potential.
When we think about, like, purpose,
Yeah.
it can be kind of this, like,
Right.
overwhelming question.
Totally.
But he breaks it down into these four purposes.
Yeah, and he doesn't, like, give you the answer.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
He really gives you this framework that allows you to discover it for yourself.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going through these four purposes.
Okay.
And the first one
Okay.
is learning life's lessons.
Hmm.
So Millman uses this really powerful metaphor.
Okay.
He describes the earth as a school and our daily lives as the classroom.
I like
Yeah.
that. It puts it in perspective.
It really does.
Makes it seem a little bit less intimidating, too.
Yeah, and even like those painful experiences that we go through,
Right.
like those are opportunities for growth.
Yeah, like they're there to teach us something.
They really are.
It's like,
And sometimes it doesn't feel like that in the moment,
of course not.
you know, but
Right.
he had this experience, a motorcycle crash that shattered his thigh bone.
Wow.
And he talks about how that really led to like a
I can imagine.
shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Like a willingness to ask bigger questions and
Yeah.
embrace new possibilities.
Like, what am I doing with my life type of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That's what
Okay.
he'd say.
So from there, then, he kind of leads into
Yeah.
humanities curriculum.
Yes.
These 12 core subjects that we're all here on Earth to learn.
You know, and it's so funny because it's not just these abstract concepts. He
Yeah.
really lays it out. He's like, here are the 12 and
He gives you the subjects.
self-worth, discipline, well-being, money, sexuality, and love.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
Yeah, he covers everything.
yeah,
Okay.
it's really interesting.
That's really cool.
You know, and he's like, hey, these are the things that really matter.
Yeah.
This is what we're all here to learn and master.
Right. And no one's going to be perfect in every single one of these subjects.
Oh, absolutely not.
But I think that the idea here is that
Yeah.
you recognize
You know,
where you are, where you're excelling, where you're still learning and embracing that as part of the process.
it's like you're going to have some subjects where you're just like,
Right.
I got this.
Totally.
This is my jam.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're really good at math or something like that. And then there's going to be some that you're like,
Yeah. And that's where the growth is.
right.
I mean, if everything was easy,
Mm.
it'd be kind of boring.
We wouldn't learn.
There wouldn't be any challenge to it.
Right.
Yeah. So
It's those like challenging ones that we really kind of,
embrace the struggle.
yeah, embrace the struggle.
I like that.
So as you're thinking about this first purpose,
Yeah.
what are some of the subjects in life's curriculum where you feel like you're excelling?
Yeah.
And where are you still learning,
Good question.
still stretching and growing?
Because the growth is really never over.
Forever.
It's a lifelong process.
Right. And it's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Oh, totally.
Right?
I love that.
Okay, so then that brings us to the second purpose,
All right.
finding your career and calling.
Okay, this is the good one.
This is a good one. And he really makes this distinction between career,
Right?
what you do for income, and calling, what you do for just that deep satisfaction.
Yeah,
That
like
makes
what
it-
makes you excited to get up in the morning?
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can we merge those two?
Right.
But it's not always easy.
Yeah.
You know?
He gives some really great examples in here.
He does.
He talks about Megan, who is both a math professor and a champion diver.
I love that.
I mean, how cool is that?
So cool.
I mean, talk about
Yeah.
like being good at multiple things.
Like left brain, right brain.
And she's woven those together so beautifully.
Right.
And then there's Kevin, who used his love for Frisbee as like a goodwill ambassador to Russia during the Cold War. Frisbee diplomacy.
I love that.
Who knew?
So cool.
Right.
So it's like, some people merge them. Some people are kind of doing their own thing over here.
Yeah, and I think that his point here is that it
Yeah.
can look so many different ways.
Right.
It's not this cookie cutter approach of you have to,
Yeah.
have a 9 to 5 and
Have your side hustle. And,
right. It can be so unique.
yeah.
And I think that's what's so exciting about it,
Yeah.
is finding your own unique way to
express yourself.
express yourself and do what you love.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to kind of navigate this process, he presents something called the Trinity of Needs, which are our talents,
Right.
our interests,
Yep.
and our values.
It's so key.
It is.
I love that he highlights talents.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times we kind of put ourselves in a box.
Limit ourselves.
Yeah, like, I'm not good at this, or I could never do that.
Yeah.
And he has this really cool analogy that he calls the oil can test, where
Oh, yeah, tell us about that one.
basically his mentor was piling these heavy oil cans into his arms until he literally couldn't hold anymore.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, you don't know your limit until you reach it.
Right.
So it's kind of like that with our talents as well.
It's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes we shy away from things because we think we're not good at it, but maybe we haven't had the right experience or the guidance, or we just haven't been pushed to that limit yet.
Right. It's that courage to try,
Totally.
to step outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And you might surprise yourself.
Totally.
Totally.
So then how do we know what interests are worth pursuing? You
Yeah.
know, because we all have lots of interests.
Yeah. So many shiny objects.
So many.
Like squirrel.
But he really suggests that we pay attention to what naturally draws us and what sparks our curiosity and makes us lose track of time.
What do you find yourself doing in your free time?
Yeah. What are you reading about?
Right.
What are you really excited to learn about?
What skills are you drawn to develop?
Right. And then we've got values.
Okay, so values are huge.
They really are.
Because these are your deeply held beliefs that are really guiding your decisions and shaping your priorities.
And he gives those examples of location relationships or career.
Yeah.
Like what's important to you.
Right. What are your non-negotiables?
Right.
What are the principles that you are not willing to compromise on?
Yeah. So maybe you value creativity and freedom above all else.
Right.
Or maybe it's security and stability. And understanding our values can help us make choices that are aligned with who we really are.
Right. Even if they go against societal expectations or conventional wisdom.
It's creating a life that feels true to you.
It's about being authentically yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this leads to some practical advice that he gives about navigating career choices.
Okay, what does he say?
So he emphasizes the importance of committing to excellence in any role.
Oh, interesting.
No matter how seemingly insignificant it might seem.
Yeah.
And he gives this example of this railroad worker in Japan who is meticulously polishing the silver posts on this train platform.
Wow.
It might not be this glamorous job.
Right.
But he was so absorbed in it.
Right.
And focused on doing it well. And it just became this meditative experience.
Yeah, he was present.
Yeah.
He was finding the meaning in the moment.
And
that simple task.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so beautiful.
And it's a good reminder that it's not always about the title or, this prestigious position.
Right.
It's really about how we approach our work.
The attitude.
The intention, the care, and the dedication that we bring to it.
And when it comes to actually making a living, good money is important.
Right. We got to pay the bills.
We got to pay the bills. We got responsibilities.
Yeah.
But he points out that there are other forms of compensation besides just the paycheck.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It could be the work environment, the benefits.
Right.
Even just believing in your employer's mission.
Yeah.
He tells this story of a woman named Jean who left this high-paying but incredibly stressful job in Silicon Valley.
Oh, I've heard of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To work part-time for Millman's company.
Okay.
The pay was less.
Yeah.
But she just loved the atmosphere and the chance to regain some balance in her life.
So it sounds like she traded financial wealth for a different type of abundance.
Yes.
Peace of mind.
Yes.
Meaningful work.
Yes.
Purpose.
And it's sometimes we have to make those choices.
Right. Sometimes it's not always about the money.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about
your well-being.
Your sanity.
Your values.
Yeah. Feeling good about what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's that balancing act.
Finding that sweet spot.
Finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
And then there's this element of providing useful service through our work.
Okay.
And he really makes a strong case that this is a key ingredient for fulfillment.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just mean volunteering or charity work.
Okay.
He's saying that anyone who puts effort into creating a quality product or service, is contributing something valuable to the world.
Yeah.
Whether you're assembling a furnace, writing code, answering phones.
Yeah.
You're part of this interconnected web of service.
You're part of something bigger than yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about seeing that bigger picture.
I like that.
So as we're kind of reflecting on this second purpose, Think about your own career and calling, how do your talents, interests, and values kind of
intersect?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's that overlap?
Where's that sweet spot?
Yeah.
What kind of work would allow you to express those unique gifts
Yeah.
while making a meaningful contribution?
What are you passionate about?
And what steps can you take today to even move closer to that vision?
Yeah, just little steps even.
Little tiny steps.
You don't have to do it all at once.
You don't have to do it all at once.
I think that that's a really important thing to remember because otherwise it feels so overwhelming.
Yes, and it's a journey.
It is.
Not a destination.
You got it. Yep.
Allow yourself to explore and experiment and even make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's all part of it.
Totally.
The key is to stay curious.
Right.
Keep learning and trust that you're on the right path even when it feels uncertain.
Yeah, you got this.
Speaking of paths, get ready to dive a little deeper because the third purpose
Here we go.
is where things get really mystical.
Ooh, I like it.
This is discovering your life path.
Oh.
And he introduces this really fascinating concept of a hidden calling.
Oh, interesting.
Something we're meant to fulfill that often reveals itself through those challenges. And our unique strength.
Our superpowers.
It's like it's woven into who we are.
Right. Like it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
We just got to find it.
And to help us understand this, he presents what he calls the life purpose system.
Okay.
And this is where it gets a little...
Oh.
It uses numerology of our birth date.
Oh, cool.
To provide insights into these individual life paths.
Okay, so we're going to be doing some math.
A little bit of math.
I'm into it.
Now, no, numerology might sound a little out there for some people.
Sure.
Millman himself admits he was skeptical at first.
Yeah.
He had this mentor who used this system to give him a reading. And it was so accurate.
Oh, wow.
And insightful that it blew his mind.
Okay, so he was a believer after that.
Yeah. And after years of working with this system, he's like, you know what? I see it.
Yeah, he saw the patterns.
Yeah, he saw the patterns.
Okay, I'm interested.
Like a language that helps us decipher this code of our existence.
I like that.
Revealing those hidden talents and challenges and potentials.
I'm in meh.
Yeah. So how does it work?
Tell me.
Each digit from 1 to 9 is associated with a specific life path.
Okay.
Each with its own set of challenges and potentials.
So it's not about limiting you.
No, it's not about limiting you.
It's about providing a framework for understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, the lessons you're here to learn.
Yes.
I like that.
So, for example, Life Path 1 is all about creativity, but it also comes with this strong sense of insecurity that needs to be overcome.
Oh, that makes sense.
Life Path 2 is about partnership.
Okay.
And learning how to balance the giving and receiving in those relationships.
Right, because I feel like in any relationship, that's always a challenge.
It is a challenge.
It's like finding that balance of giving and receiving.
Right.
Yeah.
And each life path has its own characteristics and themes.
Okay.
It's not about putting people in boxes or limiting choices.
Yeah.
It's about providing this framework for understanding our strengths, weaknesses, and lessons we're here to learn.
It's self-discovery.
Yeah.
Not fortune-telling.
And he emphasizes that it's not about predicting the future or dictating our choices.
Right.
It's about providing insight, a deeper understanding of who we are and what we're here to do.
I like that.
It's like having a personalized map.
Yeah, like it gives you some guideposts.
Yes, it highlights the terrain of your journey, showing you the potential pitfalls and the most promising routes to take.
That's cool.
So we won't go through all 9 life paths here, but I really encourage you to kind of think about
which one feels right?
Which one feels right for you?
Yeah.
What insights?
Yeah. Like just take a minute.
Yeah, just take a minute.
And just kind of think.
Reflect.
Yeah.
And even if numerology isn't your thing, self-awareness is key.
Totally.
Pay attention to those recurring patterns in your life.
Yeah.
The challenges you keep bumping up against.
Right. What keeps showing up.
Right.
Yeah.
The things that you're naturally drawn to.
That's a good indicator.
And those are clues pointing to your unique path.
Yeah.
It's like following a trail of breadcrumbs.
I love that analogy.
Trust your intuition. Be open to those unexpected twists and turns.
Right, because life is definitely not linear.
Never linear.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be.
Embrace the chaos.
And he's very clear that it's not about putting people in boxes or limiting choices.
Yeah.
It's about insight.
Yeah, giving you more information so you can make better choices for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Insight alone isn't enough. we need to take action.
Yeah.
Put in the work to overcome those hurdles and fully embody our life path.
You got to walk the walk.
You got to walk the walk.
Not just talk the talk.
Not just talk the talk.
Yeah, I like that.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle.
All right.
Purpose 4. Attending to this arising moment.
Okay.
This purpose is like the key to integrating and living out all those other purposes.
Right. It's like the foundation,
Yeah.
Of the whole thing.
Bringing our full awareness to the present moment.
That's so hard, though.
It's so hard.
Like our brains are,
So hard.
you
Especially in this day and age.
Right. With technology,
Social media.
all the distractions.
All the things. It's so hard.
It's a practice for sure.
It's a practice.
Not like you just wake up one day and you're like, I am present.
You're like, I'm enlightened.
Yeah, right? Like, that would be great.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
But no, it's a practice.
It's a practice.
So think about it like this. We're constantly bombarded with distractions.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All day.
Our minds are racing with thoughts about the past,
Mm-hmm.
anxieties about the future.
Yeah, it's like a hamster wheel.
It really is.
Up in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this moment,
Yeah.
this very breath is all we truly have control over.
Right here, right now.
He tells this really funny story about this guy named Peter who came to Millman
Okay.
for a coaching session.
Mm-hmm.
And when Millman asked him, like, what's your purpose for being here?
Oh, yeah.
Peter
Oh,
said,
I love this already.
I have no purpose. And Millman was like,
Get out.
yeah, basically get out.
Oh, my God.
He told him to leave.
That's amazing.
And of course, it was a bit of a playful provocation.
Okay.
Yeah, but it highlighted how we overlook that simple act of being present,
Yeah.
just showing up.
Yeah, just being here.
Engaging with whatever's in front of us is a purpose in itself,
Yeah, just start there. Start with that.
And he stresses that it's a practice,
Yes.
something we need to cultivate.
Every day. He uses this example of eating a meal mindfully.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this.
How often are we just sitting and savoring our food?
Right.
Without
Without scrolling on our phone.
the TV, our phones, our thoughts.
Right. Without thinking about the next thing we have to do.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the past or the future that we miss what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's like we're not even really tasting our food.
We're not really tasting our food.
We're just shoving it in our mouths so we can go on to the next thing.
Yeah, and he even points out that there's no such thing as a future decision.
Oh, interesting.
It's
like a mess.
We might make plans,
Yeah.
but ultimately all decisions are made in the moment,
In the moment.
based on the circumstances we're facing at that time.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
So how can you make a decision?
You don't know what information you're going to have.
That you don't even know about yet.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, don't get bogged down by trying to make these big life-altering decisions too far in advance.
Right. Be present. Make the decision when you need to.
Yeah, because things will become clearer
Yeah.
when you get closer to that.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for you listening?
I love that.
Millman's message is ultimately one of empowerment.
Yeah.
He's saying your life is unfolding as it should.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
The problem.
Learn from your experiences. Embrace the challenges. And most importantly, be present.
Yes. I love that.
Because that's where your true power lies.
Right here, right now.
It's about shifting our focus from pursuing that distant goal to the richness of the present moment.
Yeah. The journey is just as important as the destination.
And that practice of being present, he says.
Yeah.
It's what transforms life into an art form.
I love that. I love that quote.
He talks about how we can practice everything we do, from brushing our teeth to driving in traffic.
Like how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
With this heightened awareness, this intention to do it well, to truly be in that moment.
Yeah, be present.
And I think that's where we find that sense of meaning and purpose that we're all searching for.
Yeah, it's not this thing out there.
It's not a destination.
It's not a thing you achieve.
It's woven into.
It's a feeling.
Yes.
It's a way of being.
It is.
Yeah, I love that.
So as we're wrapping up this first part of our deep dive,
yeah,
let's just take a moment to pause and reflect.
Take a deep breath, everyone.
Consider these 4 purposes.
As guideposts.
Yeah, not rigid rules.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to explore them with curiosity, openness, and a willingness to learn and grow.
Yeah.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey.
We're all in this together.
We are all in this together, navigating all the ups and downs.
Yeah, the highs, the lows, the in-betweens.
The joys, the sorrows.
All of it.
This beautiful, messy thing we call life.
Absolutely.
So breathe deeply.
Be present.
And trust that you're exactly where you need to be right now in this arising moment.
Yes.
We'll continue our exploration of the 4 purposes of life in the next part of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
See you then.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Dan Millman's The 4 Purposes of Life.
We're back.
We've been talking about embracing those life lessons and finding our calling. And now we get to talk about uncovering our life path with purpose 3.
Oh, yeah, discovering your life path.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
This is where it gets a little mystical.
Millman introduces this idea of a hidden calling, like something we're meant to fulfill.
Yeah.
That reveals itself, through challenges and those unique strengths.
Oh, love that idea.
That's it's woven into our being.
Right, it's there.
It's there.
It's just waiting to be uncovered.
And to help us tap into that, he talks about the life purpose system.
Okay, so this is where he brings in numerology.
Yes, and this is where some people might be like, whoa.
Yeah, I know some people are really into numerology and some people are like, that's a little out there.
Yeah, but he uses it to give insights into these individual life paths.
Okay.
So it uses your birth date.
Oh, cool.
And, I was skeptical at first, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But he tells a story about a reading he received that was so accurate and so insightful.
Really?
It shifted his perspective entirely.
Wow. Okay, so he's a believer.
He's a believer.
Yeah.
So each digit from 1 to 9 is associated with a specific life path. And each of those paths has its own
challenges and potentials.
Yeah, and it's not about limiting your choices or putting you in a box or anything.
Right, it's about giving you more information.
It's about illuminating your strengths.
Yeah, understanding maybe why you do the things you do.
And the lessons that you're here to learn.
Yeah.
So
it's self-discovery, not fortune-telling.
It's not fortune-telling. It's really about self-discovery. So let's dive into a couple of these life paths.
Okay, let's do it.
So we have life path 1.
Okay.
This is the path of creativity.
Makes sense. Number 1, creativity.
It's all about unleashing that creative potential, but it also comes with a sense of insecurity.
Oh, that makes sense.
That needs to be overcome.
Totally, because I think any creative person, you're putting yourself out there.
You're vulnerable.
Yeah, you're vulnerable,
And so that makes sense that there would be some insecurity there.
Yeah, for sure.
He talks about Vincent van Gogh.
Oh, yeah, one of the greats.
A brilliant artist.
But really struggled.
Who really struggled.
Yeah.
And so it's that raw talent.
Right.
The passion.
Yeah.
The constant battle to overcome that inner critic.
Oh, totally. And his story is such an example of that. Yeah.
And it's creativity often thrives in the face of adversity.
I love that.
Yeah. It's pushing past those limiting beliefs.
Right.
And allowing that expression to flow.
Yeah. And sharing your gifts with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so life path 2.
Okay.
This is partnership.
Okay, so this is all about relationships.
Yeah, all about relationships, navigating that balance of giving and receiving.
Yeah, because that can be tough.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, because, I feel like we're always told you have to give, but you have to also know when to receive.
You have to know how to receive.
Right, and ask for what you need.
And it's those couples who are navigating those long-term relationships.
Yeah.
It's the compromise.
Yeah.
The communication.
Both on the same page.
The constant effort to maintain that harmony and connection.
Yeah, that takes work.
It does take work.
Yeah, but the payoff can be huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's that understanding of that give and take. Learning to set those healthy boundaries.
Right.
And recognizing that a true partnership thrives when both individuals feels supported.
Yeah.
And empowered to be their authentic selves.
You can be yourself.
Be yourself.
And still be loved and supported.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember, these are just 2 examples of the 9 life paths outlined in the book.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to check out the others.
Yeah. Explore.
See which ones resonate with you.
Yeah. See if anything clicks.
Yeah. It's not about fitting into that box.
It's about gaining a deeper understanding of yourself.
Yeah.
And your own strengths and challenges.
And even if you're not into numerology.
Right.
Self-awareness is key.
So important.
Yeah. Pay attention to those patterns in your life.
Right. What keeps showing up?
The things that you're naturally drawn to.
Yeah, what lights you up?
And those are clues.
Yeah, follow those breadcrumbs.
Follow those breadcrumbs.
Right.
Trust your intuition.
Right.
Be open to those unexpected twists and turns.
Because you never know.
Never know where life's going to take you.
You think you're going one way, And then
it zigs.
Yeah, it takes you somewhere completely different.
Exactly. And remember, insight alone is not enough.
No,
we have to take action.
You got to walk the walk.
Walk the walk.
Yeah, you got to put in the work.
Put in the work to overcome those hurdles and fully embody our life path.
Of it.
And that brings us to purpose 4.
Okay. Here we go.
Attending to this arising moment.
Yeah, we touched on this a little bit in the last episode.
As we did. And this purpose is like the foundation of everything.
Right, because without being present,
yeah, how can you...
It's hard to do any of the other things.
You can't embrace life's lessons if you're not present.
Right.
You can't really discover your calling if you're not present.
Right.
So think about this. Our minds are like wild horses,
Oh,
constantly galloping off in different directions,
totally.
lost in those thoughts of the past, anxieties about the future.
You feel like you're inside my brain right now. You know?
It's like, how do we rein them in?
How do we tame those horses?
How do we tame those horses, bring our awareness back to the breath?
Right here, right now.
The sensations of the body.
Just like be here.
Yeah, just be here.
Yeah.
And he uses this really cool metaphor
Okay.
about a master swordsman.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they don't dwell on past victories
Right.
or worry about future opponents.
They're not thinking about what they're going to have for dinner that night.
No.
They are in the moment.
They are so present.
Yeah, laser
They're
focused.
laser focused
Yeah.
on the subtle movements of their opponent.
The feel of the sword.
The feel of the sword.
That flow of energy, it's
Yeah.
like a dance almost.
It's like a dance.
Yeah.
And that unwavering presence allows them to react with that speed and precision,
Right.
anticipate their opponent's moves,
And ultimately win.
and win.
Yeah.
And now, while most of us aren't like dueling with swords,
Luckily.
luckily, we could apply the same principle to our lives.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's a really good takeaway, is that it's
Dylan.
about bringing that same level of focus and intention to everything you do.
Even those mundane tasks,
Even brushing your teeth.
brushing your teeth.
Doing the dishes, folding the laundry.
It's about transforming those everyday things
Yeah.
into those opportunities for mindfulness,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
connecting with that present moment.
And finding the joy in those simple things.
Yes. Finding the joy in the simple things.
Yeah.
And he even suggests that we can practice being present while we're waiting in line,
Oh, yeah.
stuck in traffic.
Oh, my God.
You know, instead of letting our minds spin out of control,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, bring it back.
Bring it back to the breath.
Bring it back to the breath. You
Yeah.
know?
What can I control right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like noticing those thoughts and emotions without judgment.
Just observe them.
Just observe her.
They're just thoughts.
Yeah.
They're not facts.
It's recognizing that every moment, no matter how seemingly insignificant, is an opportunity to practice that presence.
I love that.
You know,
It's my muscle.
it's like a muscle.
You got to work it out.
And as we kind of develop this practice,
Yeah.
we start to notice a shift. We become less reactive,
Less emotionally reactive.
less caught up in the drama,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and we respond to challenges with more grace and ease,
That would be nice.
you know, and we experience that peace
Yeah.
and contentment.
That comes from within.
That comes from within,
Not from external things.
not from external things.
Yeah, I love that.
So how do we actually cultivate this sense of presence in our daily lives?
Yeah, how do we do it?
So he offers a number of suggestions.
Okay.
One is to set aside a few minutes each day for formal mindfulness practice.
Okay.
You know, whether it's meditation,
Yeah.
yoga,
Just sitting in silence.
sitting in silence, being in nature.
Yeah.
Another suggestion is to incorporate mindfulness into those everyday activities.
Yeah.
So it could be paying attention to the sensations of your feet on the ground as you walk.
Right. Like really feeling it.
Yeah. Noticing the taste of your food.
Yeah.
Really listening to the person who's speaking to you
Yeah.
without interrupting.
Yeah. Being present with them.
Or letting your mind wander,
Yeah.
you know, and it's finding what works for you
Right.
and making it a regular part of your routine.
Yeah. Consistency is key.
It's that muscle.
Yeah. You got to train it.
You got to train it.
Yeah.
And as we cultivate this,
Yeah.
we see the ripple effects.
In all areas of life.
Our relationships deepen. Our work becomes more meaningful.
Yeah.
You know, we develop a greater appreciation
For the little things.
for the little things, for the
Yeah.
simple joys of life.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, this is a really good point to kind of transition into that last purpose.
Okay.
And welcome back to the deep dive.
We're in the home stretch now.
We made it to the final purpose,
The grand finale.
attending to this arising moment.
Such a powerful concept.
It really is. And I feel like this is something that we've been kind of weaving throughout this entire conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because without presence, how can you really embrace any of these other purposes.
Right. It's the foundation of everything.
It's the foundation.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that power and that beauty of the present moment.
Shifting our focus from like always striving.
Right. Always looking ahead.
Yeah. What's next? What's next? What's next?
The to-do list.
Yeah. To just like being here now.
Yeah. And it's so easy to get swept away.
Oh my gosh. It's so easy.
In this current up of life.
Yeah. We're all so busy.
We're all so busy constantly chasing after something.
And it's like you get to that thing and then you're like, okay, what's next?
Yeah. What's next on the list?
It never ends.
It never ends.
It's like a hamster wheel.
It really is. And he describes it as the key to like integrating.
Yeah.
And living out all these other purposes.
Like it all comes together.
It all comes together.
Yeah.
And think of it like this. Our minds are like wild horses.
Ooh, I like this one.
Constantly galloping off in different directions.
Yeah, my brain is a wild horse.
Mine too.
Untamed.
Untamed and unbridled.
Yes.
Lost in thoughts about the past. Anxieties about the future.
It's exhausted.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And so attending to the present moment is about gently reining in those horses.
Bringing them back.
Bringing them back to the stable.
Yeah, to the breath.
To the breath.
To the body. To the sensations of the body.
Yeah, like just feel your feet on the ground.
Yeah, just be here now.
Yeah.
And he uses this really great metaphor.
Oh, yeah, I'm intrigued.
About a master swordsman.
Ooh.
They're not dwelling on past victories.
Right.
They're not worried about future opponents.
Right. They're just there.
They're just there.
In that moment.
Present.
Present.
Their focus is entirely on that present moment, on those subtle movements of their opponent.
The feel of the sword in their hand.
The flow of energy between them.
Like a dance.
It's like a dance.
Yeah.
And it's that unwavering presence that allows them to react with that speed.
Right.
The precision to anticipate their opponent's moves.
Like they're reading their mind almost.
Yeah. It's like that intuition.
Yeah.
And to ultimately emerge victorious.
That's so cool. And while, most of us aren't facing off against samurai warriors in our daily lives.
Right. Unless you're like a professional athlete or something.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
We can apply that principle of presence.
Yeah. I think that's the takeaway here.
To everything we do.
Yeah.
It's bringing that same level of focus, intention, and awareness to even the most mundane tasks.
Even folding laundry.
Folding laundry, washing the dishes.
Yeah. It's like those things that we do every day that we just kind of like go through the motions.
Yeah, and we're not really present.
Right. Like we're thinking about something else. We're making our to-do list.
We're on our phones.
We're not really there.
We're not there.
Yeah.
And it's transforming those activities into opportunities for mindfulness.
To just be present.
To be present, to connect with that moment.
Yeah.
And to find that joy and purpose in those really simple things.
Yeah, because if we can't find joy in the simple things,
right,
how are we going to find joy in the big things?
It's like those are the things that really make up our lives.
Yeah, it's the little moments.
It's the little moments.
Yeah, I love that.
And he even suggests, we can practice this while we're waiting in line.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Stuck in traffic, dealing with a frustrating situation.
That is the ultimate test.
It's like those moments where you're just like...
Yeah. Like, I just want to get out of here.
But instead of letting your mind spin out of control...
Yeah.
Take
a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Huh.
Bring it back to the breath.
Yeah, what can I control?
What can you control?
Right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
It's noticing those thoughts and emotions without judgment.
Just observe them.
Observe. Like,
oh, there's that thought again.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's recognizing that every moment, no matter how insignificant, is an opportunity to practice presence.
Yeah.
And to cultivate that deeper connection with ourselves.
Yeah.
And the world around us.
I love that.
And as we develop this practice, we start to notice that shift.
Like, how do we know it's working?
How do we know it's working?
Yeah.
We become less reactive.
Okay. Less like knee-jerk reactions.
Less caught up in that drama.
Yeah.
Of our thoughts and emotions.
It's like you're watching a movie of your life. Instead of being in it.
Instead of being in it.
Yeah.
And we find ourselves responding to challenges with greater grace and ease.
Okay, that would be nice.
We start to experience a sense of peace.
Yeah.
And contentment.
That comes from within.
That comes from within, not from external circumstances, but from that deep connection.
With the present moment.
With the present moment.
Yeah, I love that.
So how do we cultivate this in our daily lives?
Okay, yeah. How do we do it?
He offers some suggestions.
Give you the steps.
He suggests setting aside a few minutes each day.
Okay.
For formal mindfulness practice.
Okay, so like meditation.
Yeah, meditation.
Yoga.
Just sitting in silence.
Just being in nature.
Another suggestion is incorporating it into our everyday activities.
Right, make it a habit.
Make it a habit.
Yeah.
So it could be, Paying attention to those sensations of your feet on the ground as you walk.
Right.
Noticing the taste of your food as you eat.
Really listening.
Truly listening.
Yeah.
When someone is speaking to you,
Right.
the key is to find what works for you.
Yeah. We're all different.
And to make it a regular part of your routine.
Yeah. Consistency is key.
It's building that muscle.
Yeah. You got to work it out.
You got to work it out. And
Yeah.
as we cultivate this, we experience those ripple effects.
In all areas of life.
Yeah. Our relationships deepen.
Yeah.
Our work becomes more meaningful.
And fulfilling.
More fulfilling, and we develop a greater appreciation for the simple joys of life.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Dan Millman's The Four Purposes of Life, I want to leave you with this powerful message.
Okay, hit me.
Your life is unfolding as it should.
Trust.
Trust the process.
The process.
Learn from your experiences. Embrace those challenges.
Yeah.
And most importantly, be present.
Yeah.
Because this moment right now is where your true power lies.
Right here, right now.
And remember those four purposes.
Yeah. What are they? Again, remind me.
Learning life's lessons.
Okay.
Finding your calling.
Got it.
Discovering your life path. And attending to this arising moment.
The four pillars.
The four pillars.
Yes.
These are not separate destinations.
Right.
But these interconnected threads woven into the tapestry of your life's journey.
I love that analogy.
Embrace them with curiosity.
Courage.
Courage. And an open heart.
And an open mind.
An open mind. And trust that as you do,
Yeah.
you'll discover that richness,
The beauty.
the beauty, and the profound meaning
Yeah.
that lies within each and every moment.
I love that so much.
So thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, this has been so fun.
We encourage you to explore Dan Millman's work further.
Yeah, he's got a lot of great stuff out there.
And to continue your own journey of self-discovery and purposeful living.
Yeah, go out there and live your best life.
Until next time.
See you on the next deep dive.